the whole world shaking, and you feel your heart is breaking. Take my hand, no hesitating. When you're just so tired of trying, all alone you feel like hiding. Together we'll keep fighting. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't stop now. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna mountains to how we can climb it. Fearless, we're taking the moment. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Can you see the sun is shining like a new hope? Feel it rising, coming over the horizon. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't stop now. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna mountains to how we can climb it. Fearless, we're taking the moment. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't you give up on me. Don't you give up, don't you give up now. Don't you give up on me. Don't you give up now. Don't you give up on me. Don't you give up now. Don't you give up on me. Don't you give up now. There's no stopping.
Good evening. It's Saturday, June 11th. It's actually not evening time yet. I'm recording this a little bit before 7 p.m. It's about 4:20 right now. So in the spirits of full disclosure, it's not evening time at this moment. Just thinking if I want to go to the pool later on to relax, I'll do my show now, okay? But I'm Chris Gargiulo. This is Real Estate with Mr. G, and I'm an associate broker for eXp Realty. And I usually start off with a little kibitzing, just a little talk. And I tell you, today I had issues with my, with the IT, I guess it would be best to say. Let me load this a little bit here. I found out that my website, realestatewithMrG.com, it says it's under maintenance, but I think it's been like that for a while. So I contacted the website administrator. They're looking into that. They don't know why that happened. And then with this video, like when you see the videos that I've uploaded, like the intro I just did, it's not centered. And I don't know why it isn't. And I sent a message, but I'm not going to get an answer until Monday why that is happening. So it's a little bit larger, and it's not centered. So, but you'll get the gist of it, of my various little videos that I show. But for some reason, they're not centered right in the middle. So I'm having issues with tech this weekend. It's always something, right? All right, so that's the way it is. That's the way it goes. Okay, we're going to go into different issues today, and always like to do a program for first-time home buyers to go over that. And this, there's so much to talk about when it comes to first-time home buyers. We'll give it a general overview. I'm going to talk about what I see happening, or what we all see what's happening. And what we can derive from it is different options, right? I have people saying right now, oh, we're in the going to recession and prices are going to drop and houses are staying longer. It's possible. There are different ways there could go. This could go. I often make the analogy that economics is not like a controlled experiment. Like if I add one substance to another in the lab, right? I know something will happen. Maybe like not an explosion, but you have water overflowing or a gas comes out, and it's two controlled substances, and usually probably 999,000 times you put these two elements together, and you have a certain outcome. But when it comes to the economy, we can make predictions, and we look at what has happened in the past, but sometimes what has happened in the past doesn't always rule what will happen in the future. I mean, the same thing. The best example is with we went through dealing with COVID-19, and we thought the real estate market would have some troubles, but people kept on buying, and home prices still went up. We didn't. Well, I'll say myself, I didn't expect that. We thought people would hold back from buying, but they didn't, and we didn't have enough homes. All right, so a lot of times, what we think will happen, we thought years ago. This is another big one. Years ago, that mortgage rates would go up, and I'm going back now. I don't know, maybe about 7 years, and I kept on saying in my newsletters and my emails. This is before I did the podcast, and I said, we're really expecting mortgage rates to go up, and they did not. They did not for a long time. Now we know for sure they are going up. They have already. It's not a maybe. It's went from below 3 to going over 5 now in a short period of time. All right, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm talking about a lot of things that I want to talk about next. So let's do a little intro, which again will be a little off-center. Now, this is strange. I have two screens within one desktop computer, and when I see what's happening to the left, it looks like the video is being shown at the right size, but it's not on my main one. I don't know. I'll check it. I'll hopefully know by Monday. Hopefully you saw a good, clean shot of it. Okay. So today we're going to talk about, and let me get my caption going here. I have a nice ticker tape one here. And is that going to work? Okay. Is this going to work? Okay. Let's try one more thing here. I don't know. Okay, I'm still having issues. Okay, there's supposed to be a ticker tape going across here. Oy. Okay, hang in there. Move this back over here. And again, like I said, I don't know where it is. Right. Okay. Well, anyway, it says what are the best options for today's first-time home buyers. I apologize for people watching that's not showing up. Okay, but if you're listening to it in the podcast, it doesn't really matter. Okay, you're not going to see it anyway. All right, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring up my my PDF file, which will go over this. What are the best options for first-time home buyers? So let's get that up on the screen. Okay, and this is really messed up today. And can I do my little picture of myself coming in? There I am. This in a nice little bubble. Okay. All right. So what are the best options for today's first time home buyers? And I got into a few things before we went into this. And when it comes to predictions, there are people who think we will go into recession. All the indicators via the stock market are saying that. What's going to happen when we go into a recession is that there will be less people working. But it's different today because, it's really a strange time. And now I'm kind of waning a little philosophical here. But that's the other strange thing about what we just went through. We're going through COVID-19. A lot of the fast food industries closed down. And let me just say hospitality in general, they closed down. And the workers were laid off temporarily. And but as we were able to go back to work, or as restrictions were lifted a little bit, and then more people could go back and buy food at restaurants and fast food places. And it was quite difficult getting these people back, right? And even the starting wages were at $15, which is what a lot of people, including myself, okay, that might upset some people. I wanted the minimum wage to be $15 an hour because there's no way you could survive at what it was, $7.50 an hour, whatever. No way. It was mean and cruel. But people weren't even coming back at $15 an hour. And my biggest question is that the people who are working at these jobs, a lot of times they work two jobs, right? They had two shifts. And most of the times, because they didn't have a 40-hour shift at one, they had part-time jobs, because then corporations wouldn't have to give these people, their workers, health care. So they usually had about two different jobs they would go to. And my question is, well, where did they go now? I mean, and especially when the unemployment ran out and the extra benefits, what happens? And this is a question that, again, when I talked about having a controlled experiment, we have not experienced something like this after a recession, after slowdown, with people not going back to their regular jobs, even when they are receiving or going to receive a higher pay. Now, I was speaking to this gentleman. Actually, I was having a cigar, and he said a lot of these people went into their own businesses, like making T-shirts. I said, well, making T-shirts, okay, that might be nice during the summertime, you're by the beach, but are you going to really pay your bills? You're going to pay your rent. You're going to pay if you have a house, a mortgage, you're going to pay your car note with that. And then again, I mean, let me step back again. In this area, we have the Navy. We have the Navy yards. A lot of people could work there. and who were working prior to that in the fast food industry or the hospitality industry. And we have Amazon, which has opened up, I think now about 3 and maybe even 4 warehouses within the Hampton Roads area. One happening to be in Hampton, which is where I live. So a lot of people who went from jobs where they were making $7.50 an hour went to these warehouse jobs where they got paid more. But I said that's limited. I mean, after a while, those jobs will be taken. What else could these people do? Well, they could be doing share riding, the Giga jobs, the Ubers, the Lyfts, the DoorDashes, the Uber Eats, and they are making that money as well. And then it came about with these TikTok reels, and the TikToks then go over to the Facebook reels, and I'm seeing lots and lots of people or influencers who are saying, hey, you could get these remote jobs online and they're paying good money. And if you stick with those, and you're basically working as a freelancer or an independent contractor, but there seems to be lots of gigs in the gigabyte industry, right? A lot of jobs out there. So I guess a lot of young people are doing that than working in for instance, the fast food industry. And like I said, they have to be doing something to make ends meet because they were working 2 jobs to make ends meet. What are they doing now? So again, it's a time, it's like a new experiment. We're mixing things together, and we really don't know what the outcome is. Now, for instance, like Elon Musk is saying, and Netflix is saying, we want our workers to come back and work 40 hours in the office. And a lot of people saying, the heck with that, I don't need that. I think what's going to happen, there'll be a hybrid. Because sometimes, yeah, it is nice to go into the office to talk with other people, meet other people, see how their day is going. But you don't have to do it 5 days a week, especially if you have a long commute. I mean, here in Hampton Roads, I'm assuming people and their jobs, they might just be 20 minutes to a half hour away by car. But if you work in Manhattan and you live out in Connecticut, or you live a little bit upstate in New York State, some people actually commute from New Jersey and Pennsylvania, you have a long commute time. And we're talking 3 to 4 hours a day, right? Maybe 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening. And if you have children and you're coming home for work after 2 hours, and that's counting that there wasn't any big delay, big traffic jam. By the time you're coming home, the kids have already eaten, they're getting ready to go to bed if they're really, really young, and you're missing out on that. And you're saying, okay, I'll miss out on that 2 times a week, but not 5 times a week. So I think there will be some sort of hybrid coming up. That's my prediction, whatever it's worth, because people got used to this freedom. And so what, right? If you're getting your work done, but you're waking up, you're having breakfast, and just going over to your desk, no commuting, no 2 hours on the bus and then the subway or a train and the subway, and you're getting your work done, so what? That's wonderful. And you're spending quality time with your family. All right? One executive said he really wants the meetings to be where you're looking at faces, you're in one room. Yeah, that's good. But that doesn't have to be every day. And so this is my viewpoint of what's going on. But we'll see what happens, right? It's a lot of things are evolving now. Not so sure what the outcome would be. But I think a lot of people really will say, I don't need to be in the office every single day, especially if it's really far away. All right, so let's look at what's the best options for today's first-time home buyers. That's enough, Mr. G, of talking so much about the economy and, you know, what you predictions are. Who cares? Okay. So basically what they're saying, and we know that mortgage rates and home prices have risen. That's without question. There's no doubt about that. And we are probably going to see home prices still continue to rise, but not as crazy as last year. And even this week, there's going to be a decision on the Federal Reserve rate, if it's going to go up even more. I think they have to in order to get inflation under control. That's the other big thing that happened this week. Inflation really went up. It's going to be issues in the future. I'm going to tell you that. Okay. It costs more to buy a home than it did even a few months ago, but that doesn't mean you have to put your plans on hold. All right. And the thing is, with the predictions we have right now, with rates going up, with prices going up, it's still much better to buy now. Now, with a recession and with inflation, will prices come down? It's possible. Okay. I don't think prices will go up much more this year. Might they come back down? I saw someone from my multiple listing service post that some prices have gone down, but they didn't. I hate when agents post, but they don't back it up with factual information. Now, what I think, and I talked about this last week, if your house is not truly move-in ready, then buyers perhaps now will become more picky on what has to be either fixed or the price has to come down. If your house is beautiful, okay, it's recently painted, either a new carpeting or it's been professionally cleaned, you really within the last 5 years updated the kitchen, the bathrooms, whatever, then it's very possible you will still get a couple offers on it and a little bit of a bidding war. But I really believe it's not going to be for every single home. Because, you know, I had clients buy about a year ago homes that really the sellers should have fixed up a little bit more. And they were really petty about it. They let things that it was a $5 fix and they let it go. Knowing that most people are just, you know, if they don't see a major thing wrong with the house, they'll go and they'll continue the sale. So they got, I'm going to use the word, they're a little arrogant, I think. You know, I don't think it was right. I mean, they got top dollar for it. So, you know, present the house to your new buyers in a good fashion. So what they talk about in this area is begin to prioritize your wish list and decide what you could deal with and what you don't have to deal with. You know, if you really want the house with a pool, but it's not a deal breaker, that's maybe a consideration you would have to do. You may have to make changes to that wish list. I always have first-time home buyers, young people, and I've got them pre-approved, but the house that they really want, is not in their price range. And this one young man already had 2 kids, and he wanted a full bedroom, and it was out of his price range. Then his wife was getting a new job. We are going to try a year later. The thing is that especially if it's your first home is not always your forever home. Okay, especially if you're young, you're starting out with a family, and then you have 1 or 2 more kids, maybe 3 kids. In this example, he had 2 already. And then later on, as you move up in your careers and making better salaries, you could go for the larger home. So you have to make changes to that wish list. Another change to the wish list is that you may have to decide to go maybe with a condo or an attached home. Sometimes they're called townhomes. The whole townhomes condo thing, I mean, it's a townhome if it's not in this condo association, it's not a condo. Now, it might be in the property owners association, all right, especially since it's attached. So what happens to another house? So the home association decides who's going to be responsible for what, the roof and the siding or whatever. And most likely it may be the home owner association. But a lot of times condos and townhomes may be less expensive than a single family home. And I want to repeat, in most cases, some, especially when it comes to condos, they may have a large condo fee and then may knock you out of the market for that home. If a condo fee is, around $50 to $80, $90, that's okay. But once it starts going over that, you have to speak to your loan officer and see if you could still afford that home. All right, because the loan officer has to make sure that you could pay your mortgage, right, the taxes, your insurance, and your property owners association, or I should really say and/or, because sometimes they have both, your condo association fees. So you can't say in every situation a condo will be less money or a townhome will be less money. You have to look at the additional fees that go along with that. But at least open up your mind to that, all right? And then it says your budget isn't all that you need to be concerned about. Your wish list and decide location may carry just as much weight. Again, if you want to be near the downtown area of a city, sometimes they are more expensive, but if you go a little bit more on the outskirts, you most likely will be paying less per square footage. So it doesn't always have to be within the city. The most important thing is that you own something, okay? If you have to make some considerations, as you're doing this, okay. And as time changes, you could always purchase a new home in the future. So it says increase your search radius to consider more locations. Actually, my daughter and husband did that. They're out in San Diego, but they bought a home further out in the suburbs because the home prices were not as insane. All right. And they have a big, beautiful home with a big in-ground pool, and they love it. So it was worth it. So a lot of times you have to look at different areas. So open yourself up to those possibilities. Now, I could do a podcast. What are the steps that have to be involved with with first-time home buyers. That's a class by itself, and what you need to go over with. Actually, when I talk about the new summer of 2022 buyer and seller guides on the page where you could download my the 10 steps in the home buying process, which is a nice little introduction for first-time home buyers. But I wanted to throw this up here because I got this from Rain. That's our multiple listing service, and active residential listings versus month supplies of inventory. So as we see, if we look at the month supply, all right, last November was actually a little bit bigger. It could have slowed up as we got into the Christmas buying season. I forgot if COVID got worse at that point, but then the amount of inventory went down. December, January, February, and that's an abnormality. I hope I said that right by itself, because usually during the cold winter months, especially after the holidays, you have kind of like a slowdown in purchasing, but here it continues. All right, so it's not always the same, right? It changes. It's not a controlled experiment. But as we go into March and April, we see it increase. And what this is showing is that the houses now, it's not by much. All right, at one point it was on the market for 0.78 months, and or I should not months, but days. But here it's going back up to a month and a day. And like I said, it's not a big increase, but it's going in an upward trend. All right. So I see more listings go up for my buyers. And so that's a good thing. And as the mortgage rates go up, and, we'll see what goes else in the mix, home prices as well. And now with the possibility of recession, the days that these will stay on the market will increase. And probably when they get the statistics from May and June, you're going to see an increase in the amount of days on the market. So that's good for buyers. Okay. Let me go back to here. I'm going to hide this now. All right, and now I'm big again. Let me see if I can make it a little bit smaller and bring myself up here. Okay. So I think that's good news for buyers, even though mortgage rates are going up, but you will have more homes to choose from, perhaps less competition. And if a house has been longer on the market, most likely, I need to summarize this. I'm going to put this in like in a sketch. What's I call it again? A whiteboard sketch. I'm going to put that in there. As houses stay longer, there's a good chance those numbers will come down. Okay. Okay. All right. So the best thing, find a trusted advisor, new home buyers, like Chris Gargiulo, associate broker for eXp Realty, and my podcast and my blog and my website, realestateWithMR.G.com is the website. realestateWithMR.G.blog is my blog site. So let me show you, we have in the new summer buyer and selling guides. So there's a little film on that. Okay, so it is scrolling through the bottom. I tell you, this is driving me nuts. Okay. So again, I have within the software program, I have two screens. One that I'm seeing myself directly, and then to the left, it shows me what's going on in the air. And I'm still, let's see, okay. I'll have to talk with IT with this program, but at least you're seeing the information. So I think I have where you could download the summer 2022 guides. Okay, real estate with Mr. G.blog/resource-materials. All right. And if you scroll down a little bit more, you'll see the 10 steps of the home buying process. So for your the first time home buyers, you could load that or download that, and it's a nice little introduction to what goes on. And then you could call me, Chris Gargiulo. I won't make time, but in the ending credits, you'll see my contact information. And you could contact me wherever you're watching this. You could send me a message as well. Okay? So I think I hear from our producer, William, that we have, I think they're roller skaters in the audience, famous roller skaters.
Chris, great news. We have two celebrities in the audience. Known as the rolling skating duo, this couple appeared many times on The Ed Sullivan Show and various movies displaying their roller skating skills and thrill-seeking acts on rollerblades. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Ravik and Babs.
Oh my God, I think something bad happened when he was doing the roller skating bit with her. I just hope hope Babs is okay. Again, I just see here's the home buyer guide, and not to belittle what happened to Babs, but and here's the selling guide. So again, you could go to that part of my blog and download it. So that's it for today. We'll talk again next week. I'll try to put a special show together for Juneteenth. Maybe something special at the end, okay? So you haven't been fully vaccinated, please do so. Be kind to each other. And remember, the greatest power we have is to love, and the greatest gift, each other. Thank you very much.